Ze begonnen ooit onafhankelijk van elkaar met ondernemen. Vanuit grote passie gedreven, maar gingen keihard op hun bek. Welkom bij de Businessjam.
This one's for all of the big-hearted dreamers, people who don't fit inside the square, the never say nevers and die-hard believers, seeing silver linings everywhere. Yeah. Don't give up now, you got it right, 'cause life is what you make of it. Trust yourself no matter what they say. Your world is real.
Ja, lekker hoor.
Ja.
There's no one out there like you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Welcome to the Businessjam, the podcast for...
Pain and passion in business. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
And this is a very special moment for us. This is first English podcast.
Fantastic.
Stone cold English from our side.
Excellent.
And welcome in your own house.
Thank you.
Jeremy Olivier.
Good man. Thank you very much. Love the pronunciation. Well done.
Just from South Africa to Holland.
Yes, it's a lot colder. There's a difference in temperature at the moment of a lot of degrees.
Yeah. And we played a song, Dreamers, of your latest album.
Yes.
And where did you get that idea, this
Inspiration.
Inspiration. So that's a great question. That album was born out of a lot of pain.
Yeah.
It really was. I've personally been through a life change, if you like a realization, you know.
Yeah.
And basically the result was I didn't know who I really was. And when I hit my 40s, I went on a bit of a wobbly, actually. I lost my way. Yeah, I really lost my way.
The big four.
With who I was.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think it came from starting as an artist. I began my music career very young, you know, when I was 14. Okay. But I never had desires to be Jimi Hendrix or, you know, the artist that everyone's going to know. I just wanted to play music. And I didn't care where it was, how it was. So I got into a rock band and I played music. And I studied jazz and I did all of that. But I only started my artist career in 2012. That was when I did my first song. So it was quite late.
There was no business case.
There was no, but there was
only the passion for music.
That's it.
Play a lot.
So I used to earn always, you know, I earned as a living from music. I never did anything else except for music. But it was background. It was background working.
Yeah.
So the guy in black who sits in the corner, and then you don't know who it is, but he's playing. And that was me. Yeah. So I had a great career. I mean, I played for people like Catherine Jenkins, the singer, on a big stage with a 100-piece orchestra. I would be the guy on guitar, you know. Yeah. I sang with George Benson, which was fantastic. At Cape Town, it was then called the North Sea Jazz Festival, although it took place in Cape Town. Now it's called the Cape Town International Jazz Festival. So I've had a great career, but it was I never thought about putting myself forward. And I think when I started to put myself forward was when I really started to feel the pain along with the passion. Because it takes bravery. Then you've got to step forward. And then you've got to hear no sometimes, or a lot of times. Or you hear yes, and you think, this is it. You know, I've done my first single. It went straight to the #1 station in Cape Town. It was called Serendipity. Yeah. And I thought, it's serendipity. Yeah. This is amazing. I'm there. There it is.
Finally.
And then like you do the next song and that goes on radio but nothing really happens. And then you have a promise of this and a promise of that and nothing happens and you just get crushed again. So you're putting yourself out there. But that was when the pain and the passion started for Nicole and I. We started to invest everything we had into my career. Yeah. So she really gave up in a way. She's always worked for herself as a graphic designer, but she really started focusing on me. And she became my manager then. Yeah. And we poured everything into the business of Jeremy Olivier. How we getting a brand, getting it going. So we did social media, and you build it up and you build it up.
Yeah.
So we started then.
So because when you don't know Jeremy Olivier in South Africa, you are a name.
Yes,
they know
I have a profile. I'm not like an artist that's going to sell out a stadium. I'm not that guy. I'm not like a let's say a Marco Brasciato here. I don't know if I said his name.
Sheeran.
Or an Ed Sheeran. I'm not that to South Africa, but I'm definitely somebody that Jeremy Olivier. Yes, Serendipity. Yes, I know that song. And
UNICEF used that song.
Correct. Called Beautiful. So I was a celebrity advocate for UNICEF. Which is like short of being an ambassador. Yeah. Ambassador is like a very recognized person, like Angelina Jolie or somebody like that. Yeah. But a celebrity advocate are those artists that are known in their country, maybe, and then they're used. So that was me. I had songs on radio. 2016, I went on The Voice, the very first Voice, South Africa.
Oh, Voice of South Africa.
And it was the first time the show, they had the Dutch representative coming to make sure all the colors were right and the chairs were right and everything was done to the same format as the first Voice of Holland. And that's how it happens worldwide. It's checked, the standards are high. And I did very well. I got interviewed from the beginning on that show. My audition was the first to be aired, one of the first in the first show. I got a 4-chair turn very quickly. I knew one of the people, Lyra, who became my coach. I already knew her because I played guitar for her.
Great.
So there was this, I was already in the industry.
Good connection, yeah.
And then after The Voice, because I was on for so long and I got right to the final, people really remembered who I was. Yeah. And that was great. So that was going really well. On the personal side, I lost my way a bit in the pain of not really believing that who I was someone worth being an artist.
Did you start to believe in what you thought about yourself?
Yes. I didn't believe that I was enough. So I started to settle for staying at a gig too late, having a couple too many drinks. You know what I mean? Like really losing my way.
Like a bit of sloppy.
Yeah. You know the feeling.
Yeah.
And which led me to situations I shouldn't have been in, but what it did lead to was a breaking of things that were unsettled in my heart. That
2012?
2016 already. So that built up slowly. When it started 2012, I would say, as I went on the artist journey. Before that, I hadn't really, if you leave, let sleeping dogs lie. You know that saying? It's I don't know if it's in Dutch as well, but let sleeping dogs lie. If you don't disturb it, it's okay.
Yeah.
But when you're brave enough to disturb what's underneath, what comes out. And I think that's what happened with me. I started to disturb the water with myself unconsciously. I wasn't setting out on a journey. I have pain. I need to now see what is this pain. No, it came out in my actions, which, were not matching who I really was, And so I ended up by really hurting my family, but we came through it stronger. We came through it much stronger. We've come through, and now all the stuff that was sleeping underneath but was dark and not in line with my heart is opened up. And it's when you take that, that you're brave enough to go that journey, when you come through to the other side, it's beautiful.
Do you have an idea that unconsciously you had to make this journey?
Yes, it's such a great question. Yeah, that's a really great question. It's almost like there's a guy that I follow a lot, Eckhart Tolle. He's got some great stuff. Great. And there's one of the quotes that says, "Suffering is necessary until you realize it's not necessary anymore." And that's exactly...
And that's your pain body.
That's exactly... You know it. You know it. Yeah. That's exactly it. So I think unconsciously, my pain body was like, I need some real life. I need to, it woke up my true self, you know, and my pain body was like used as like a tool to wake me up. And my soul needed to wake up.
And that 2012 guy,
Yes.
11 guy, 10
Yes.
guy,
Yes.
did he need to get awake to make
Yes.
other songs?
Yes. 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 Yes.
The voice is the same.
Yeah, the voice is the same. The voice is almost more deeper now because it's better connected.
It's more real.
It's more real.
Yeah, it's the real voice.
So yes,
the sound is the same.
yes,
But the voice is different.
the voice is different.
Yes.
Yes, it's connected deeper to the real me. So what comes out now is I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. Before, I didn't even know I wasn't vulnerable. I thought everything was cool. Everybody, it's fine. You know, I'm just chilled. I don't even really feel much. But what had happened is, from young, I was really learned how to push down emotions. Because you grow up like I did. I grew up really in Africa. You know, born in Zambia, grew up in Zimbabwe. It's a tough environment. You have to be strong.
Yeah.
Boys
Fight
don't,
for yourself.
Boys
Yeah.
don't cry.
Yeah.
You know, just get on with it. Get up there. Like, don't. So if you feel a little bit more sensitive, because maybe I'm an artist, I feel things a bit more, there's no space for it. So you push it down. And I also grew up in a very religious background. Now, I say that with respect to religious people, because religion has a place for sure. But when you take religion over the heart is when you lose your way, because you open up to the law. If you don't do this, this will happen. If you do that, then you're okay. Instead of knowing that it comes from love, you know.
Yeah.
And anyway,
Love first.
Love first.
Always.
Love always. That's what carries you through.
Yeah.
But I pushed down a lot of things and I didn't even know it. So I was disconnected. I could watch a sad movie. I wouldn't cry. You know what I mean? It's
You
just
don't cry.
I don't cry.
Big
Why?
boys don't cry.
Big boys don't cry. But it was because I had practiced that pushing down.
Yeah.
And then as 2012 happened, then 2013, my dad passed away.
Yeah, that's what I want to
that was a big moment for me. That unleashed the beast.
That's where the light comes in.
That's where I think that's where the light started to come in. I think that's when the breaking started, because it was the first time I had lost someone so close who had meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And I think without realizing it, my dad, I placed a lot of respect. So I didn't do things because my dad was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't and then when he passed away, it was like the wheels
Were
came
there
off.
laws? Did your father have any laws over the family?
Not really. It was more subconsciously. He was a very freeing guy. Yeah, he didn't have you must do this and this, not at all. But he was just such a big influence in my life. Yeah. And I think because I associated religion with my dad, that it came from that. I think when he passed away, now there was no cap over me. You know what I mean? It was like unconsciously. This is all hindsight. But my dad was an amazing human being. He really loved me. He was a good father, a good man, and really a man of peace. I think he also suffered because of religion in a way. I think if he had been freer, he would have even gone further than what he did. Yeah. You know, if you know what I mean. But yes, it definitely changed me in the sense that when disappointments happen, I think you get changed. That experience does something to you, because you have to face a reality that's happened.
Yeah, if you suffer, you can learn from it.
100%, 100%. Wow. So fast forward through the years, as my gigs, staying up too late, drinking too much, disappointing my family in the end. 2016 was even the height of it. Even though I'm on this show, The Voice, what I was really running from was, even the more exposure I got as an artist, it's like the more I wanted to run away from it and not be that guy, because I didn't believe I was that good. Yeah. You know, everybody was saying this.
It was a bit of scary.
Yeah, it really was. And when I came to a breaking point in early 2017, and it affected my family, it was such a good thing. I mean, it was really a good breaking point. From there, we could take stock and go, what am I doing? What am I doing? This is not who I am.
It was kind of a zero meeting.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And from there, that's where we come to Changing World, the album.
Yeah, because it's on my tongue.
Yes,
because it was a time that I played it 5 times a day. The first time, before it was out, some demos, I heard where this song, where the light comes in.
Yes.
And I couldn't help to cry because it's like a mirror, what you're saying. Yeah. When I hear this album that you made, Changing World, there is something in it as hope. It's pure, it's true. And you can hear that you sing it with all you got and nothing else matters because you want to record the truth.
Yes, thank you.
It starts with African time and there's so much hope in it.
Yes.
This album, there are some albums that become landmarks in your life. And it can be like Brother in Arms of Dire Straits.
Yes.
Some Bruce Springsteen albums.
Definitely.
And for me, also, this Changing World is a landmark in a time. Every time I started, I got goosebumps too, because Dreamers, that's what we started, is also something about never listen to anybody else, but just go your way. Yeah. And like Breathing Underwater is about the struggle of being...
Absolutely. Breathing Underwater was written for the first album, and then I redid it in the second album with a more of an Afro feel. But that one was written about being an artist and really struggling for the pain and payment thing. It was written about that. You're breathing underwater because you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from. You don't have a salary like everybody else. You walk in faith, like you're just taking that step because you need to, and then the money's got to follow somehow. So the breathing underwater was that, but it goes much deeper because it also speaks about knowing that everything you need is inside of you. You don't need anything else. So when you're reaching for your dreams, basically you are the gold. You have the gold. Yeah. Now, I understood it on one level when we wrote it. My wife and I write together, and we wrote it in it would have been 2013 that we wrote that song to start with. And I didn't understand even the layers to our own song. And then I understood it in an even deeper way when it came to 2018 and recording the album because of what I had been through. Yeah,
it took us several years.
Yeah,
to understand your own pain.
Absolutely. And that is so true. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. And that, so when we wrote that album and we took ourselves away to a place and we wrote like crazy, Nicole and I. And then Anthem, she said to me, Nicole said, you have to do this song as a cover. And I thought the words were just made me really touched me deeply. Yeah. And I thought and then I listened to the original and I was like, how am I going to do this? Because I really, to be honest, I love Leonard Cohen, but that song and the way it's recorded didn't grab me. The lyrics are deep and incredible, but the melody and the way it's recorded, it wasn't great for me personally. But then I played it. I had a gig out. It was a 2.5-hour drive out in the Cape, in a beautiful place. And on the way there, I played Anthem over and over just to get a feel of the song, the original. I tell you, Jeroen, I couldn't see where I was going because I was crying so much. The tears were flowing that whole trip. The whole 2.5-hour trip, I was crying. Was
it some kind of therapy for you? Because
100%. Those words of that we can break and the light can come in. Forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything. Yeah. That's how the light gets in. And it started to I started to grab it and really digest it. And then I said to Nicole, you are right, I have to do this. And I sat down with my guitar, and that's when I started to rearrange it and do it. I detuned the.
You
the
made
E
it your
string.
own.
I made it my own.
It's
And
really
then-
your own
yeah.
song because it's a Leonard Cohen song,
Yes.
like you said. But
Yeah.
you
Yes.
made it octave higher, maybe.
Yeah, well, I changed the key, yes, for sure, and also I just found I let the spirit of the song and the words interpret through me on the guitar. That's what happened. So it just became this
Almost organic,
and then like into that, and then it was taken. Our producer, who you know, Ronald Print, he said to me, Jeremy, I can hear some dark brass on this song, and I was like, dark brass? I don't hear it. This is after we'd recorded in New York. And he said, no, I've got the perfect guy. His name's Frank. And he's the guy who did the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah,
Frank. He's actually a guitar player, but he writes horn, he arranges. He lives in Holland.
Frank van der Heijden.
Yes, I think that's it. He's phenomenal. So he took my guitar arrangement and he arranged brass around the guitar arrangement. Even in there is a note, there's a mistake where, I go down, and he said to me, please, I left it in. We arranged around it because it's so perfect. I didn't want to change a thing. So he kept it going.
We talk about it, but we want to hear it now. Oh man,
The birds they sing, the break of day, start again. Heard them say, don't dwell.
Please go to listen to this album, people. Buy it. Really, this is.
Thank you.
This is man. This is.
I was holding it together that day in studio. You can hear it in my voice.
Great.
I'm at that, that point where you're gonna melt down and just collapse in a heap of tears, or you're gonna keep going and push through. I was at that place, and I think you can feel it. You can feel it. It gives you the sense. That's the power of music.
Yes,
it reaches beyond our thoughts. It reaches to that place that is beyond our thoughts, and it reaches into the depths of who we truly are. And that is why I perform and play. I love seeing that light come on in people's eyes where they feel it, they get it. And I think when something's been born out of pain, so this was born out of pain and real love. So I love Marianne Williamson. She wrote Love. I've forgotten the name of the book. But it's Marianne Williamson is the writer. And Nelson Mandela actually quoted from her book in his inauguration speech when he was president of South Africa. Yeah. And he said, it's not darkness, whatever, that we're afraid of. We're afraid of our light. We're afraid of being who we really are. And then it goes on to say that we are all children of God. And basically, don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to let your light shine. And I think that pain really plays a role in cracking the egg, cracking that shell open. Because our ego wants to protect us, So we have this ego in the sense of the self we put out there and that we think we are, but it's not who we are. But that pain really has a way of cracking that shell of the ego and getting to the real self of who you really are. The whole time I was on The Voice, my coach Lero would say to me, I'm missing something from you. Or, the performance was perfect. I don't really miss notes.
No.
It's kind of, when I sing live, I'm just one of those singers.
Don't think about it, just do it.
I don't think about it. I don't miss a note. I don't really miss the guitar. Maybe now
we
and
say
again.
deliver and you deliver.
I deliver.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I've been doing it for 30 years. I've practiced. I do it. But there was something missing. And it was that,
were missing.
the breaking. You couldn't see me because the shell was so thick over me.
Yeah.
And when your shell is over you, when you don't know your shell is over you. That's when you know your shell's over you.
You're in denial. You're in denial.
You actually don't know.
What were you protecting?
My vulnerable self, who I really was, because I didn't see. Because I wasn't allowed from so young. I decided very young to stop crying or to stop doing this, to stop doing that. So you put it away. So that little guy hadn't been heard properly for years.
Yeah.
So I was definitely hiding, being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I would say I wasn't allowing myself because I didn't think I was good enough. So if you see the real me, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
And everybody likes me.
Is that why you moved to Holland last year?
Yeah, no. That's great. Yeah, so more people can see me in Holland.
Yeah,
No,
because you're successful in South Africa.
Yes.
It's not easy to travel. I can imagine, because it's just the next village is 5 hours away.
Yeah.
So the next gig is 5 hours away, and who's going to pay?
It
Nobody.
Can be. It's so true.
And then you come to
Holland.
Holland.
Can you believe it, man? Combination of things. Number one, I mean, we met each other years ago.
2012.
2012. Yes. I got a Jerome's guitar, which I still have. It's a beautiful guitar. I love that
It's
thing
a rock
so
guitar.
much.
It's
It is.
not jazz.
It is, but it's beautiful. Very well made, I must say. By
Tailor-made.
Jeroen. Of
Tailor-made.
course, it's tailor-made. It was his own guitar. Blowing your trumpet. I love it.
That's really the sound of the guitar, right?
Classic. So, then, that was my first tour, 2012, 2013, my first tour to Holland. And then because of my agent, who was Frank Lenselink, who was from here, and he brought me over, opened up, got some gigs for me and shows. And I've been doing that ever since for about 6 years. And building up a little bit of a fan base and, all of that.
That's nice.
And then my wife is Dutch, of Dutch descent. So she had the purple passport. And all our kids have the passport.
Oh.
Yeah, because of her parents, they live in Friesland. So they basically had we had things set up there. My wife had spent 2 years living in Holland when she was 18.
Right.
So she already knew the culture a little bit, and I did. So
you're quite familiar with
Holland, yes, familiar for sure. And then I thought to myself, well, South Africa would just decided to go through an economic shrink in the last 2 years. We had a president who stole a third of the GDP. So we start there. And now South Africa are in the process of trying to repair what was stolen. Between the Guptas and Zuma, they literally stole a third of the country's GDP. And I'm talking from the national airline to the electricity to the everything you can imagine. They got their hands on.
It sounds like Holland. They steal a lot. Taxes.
Taxes.
And no more taxes.
Oh, that's hilarious. At least you mostly know where the taxes are going and there's surplus and stuff. Yeah. In South Africa, they literally, steal. They didn't do it in a tax way and then give it to somewhere else. Yeah. No, they just took it. Yeah. So, he had in Kandla...
A one-way road for the money.
A one-way road. And somebody has to pay for it. Yeah. And you end up paying as a country. So as a result, the economic growth has been zero. I think this last year, it was close to zero or nothing. The unemployment rate is the highest it's ever been, and I think one of the highest in the world at the moment. And you feel it. You drive by with your bakkie, with your car, onto the street, just around the street corner, and you'll see 50 guys waiting with a paintbrush or something, asking for a job for the day, and people are going without food. It's very serious.
About it. Yeah.
So for me, it was a really tough time. We had an incredible moment where this whole album was possible by an angel investor. Yeah. He came to me and he said, Jeremy, you belong in New York. So I was like, after one of my shows, so I said, yeah, okay, cool. And then we met through you, actually.
Yeah.
We met Ronald Prent.
Yeah.
You know, he said straight away, you need to play with Will Calhoun, the drummer. He's the only one for you, and he's in New York. And then my bass player is from South Africa.
Okay.
So we were like, where are we going to record this album that we've got going now? You know, is it going to be Cape Town? Is it going to be Wisseloord in Holland?
Hilversum, yeah.
Or in Hilversum? Or is it going to be New York? I was thinking, wow, New York?
New York
it has to be New York, because all of us love New York. So I went back to this angel investor and I said to him, remember you said I belong in New York? Well,
I have news for you, my friends.
I have an opportunity. Yeah. And he said, Jeremy, just give me the budget. What is it? And he just went, there you go. And it was done.
Wow.
So that whole trip, and including a bit of the tour to Holland in 2018, bringing Will over and Sean and all of that, it was all covered by this angel investor. At the same time, before that, he had made it possible for us to buy a beautiful house in South Africa, in a beautiful area. And he had really just invested in us. He just said, here you go, here's a gift. But he didn't do it in a way that I'm just going to buy you a house. He helped us to get the house. So the house was a very expensive house, and he was helping us with a little bit of the bond per month. And, you know, he said, what can you afford? I said, this is what I can afford. These are the gigs I do. And for a musician standard, I really do earn well. Yeah. Because of my versatility, I can front lots of bands. I sing and I play.
Quality.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then added to the profile that people know you can really start charging properly for a gig, you know, like in the €1,000 mark. This was happening. But then as South Africa went through the shrinking, guess who the first to go? The expensive artists, or the ones that aren't, you know, not the top guys. They still get the odd gig. And then there's lots of guys waiting to do it for nothing. As you know, it's the same in Holland. You know, you got many musicians. There may be some quality in there, and there may be some not so quality, but they're willing to play for next to nothing. Yeah. But even those guys were not getting gigs in South Africa because they would say, oh, which of you has a laptop at the office? Yeah. We'll just plug your laptop in and that's our entertainment for the evening. You know, really, it was shrinking more and more. So we had a choice. What do we do? And then to top it all off, our guy who was helping us was really went through and is still currently going through such a hard time. He lost everything. He really lost everything. He had, it's a long story, but basically there were three things. It was Brexit, there was stock market stuff. Trump was even involved in the way the perfect storm happened for him to lose business like he did. But mostly it was taken out from, it's where there's corporate, basically banks. Corporate theft, you know, that goes on. You know, if you stand up tall like that, guys go after you, you know, and this is basically what happened. The banks have been horrendous. They're still treating him like you can't believe. Suddenly you're the king of the hill, and the next minute you're fighting for breath, you know, and it's just horrible to see. He's the most amazing guy. Along with us, he was helping people buy their homes. He was supporting widows, he's a really, if you want to look at a godly man, a God-fearing man, it's this guy. He's unbelievable. Anyway, he will come back again, but the timing of it could not have been worse with our situation, because he couldn't help us for a couple of years. And then the situation in South Africa was really getting like worse and worse. So really, in a way, we were forced to look elsewhere to make a go of things, because South Africa wasn't an option for me as an artist. So we thought, well, it is still an option. I can go back and I can teach and I can do regular gigs in South Africa. I could do that. But we thought, why not give the artist Jeremy, the music, the album, why not give that one more go? Let's really give it a go and let's try it in Europe. So I see Holland as a launch pad into Europe.
This happened a lot more
Yes.
With the Dire Straits started.
100%.
Yes.
And the Police, I think, as well. Weren't they also in Holland?
Yeah.
If you make it in Holland, you can make it everywhere.
If you
It's up to you.
Holland. So there's a lot of reasons. It's not the easiest coming here. If I'd known it was gonna, because I remember telling a couple of friends who are musicians and seeing their eyes fill up with fear.
With 5 kids.
Why are you coming?
With 5 kids.
And I'm like, no, it's fine. But I've come here and I've realized, my goodness me, musicians don't get paid in this country.
Nice.
Oh my god.
They go for drinking tickets. And thank you very much.
Man, it's terrible.
Have a nice evening.
Really, Dave, it's terrible. I didn't realize it was this bad. I know you guys told me, the case and yourself would say that this is, Holland is a tough place.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got the T-shirt. I can tell you, it's a tough place. Yeah. Also, it's starting again. Because, of course, I have fans. If I put on a show, I had a show in Bergen recently, and I had fans there. They come, they hear I'm playing. So that's great. But you need to be on the level of having 1 million fans. Then you're fine. You can go and play theaters and whatever. But I really am in a position where I have to build up my name here in Holland at the moment. That's where I'm at. Yeah. So I'm open to doing hotel gigs again, which I've started doing. I've got the Hilton here in Sus, Schiphol, the Renaissance Hotel, that one, and then the Rode. Yeah. So there's it's starting to happen now, and then the people hear me play and they go, oh,
wow.
Well, quality always comes.
Yeah. The cream rises to the top. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be okay, but it's been really tough, and where we're living is expensive. So to find the money for the month has been challenging. But the mixed sort of good and bad news, we've managed to sort out our affairs in South Africa now. We are busy with that. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be free of debt there.
If somebody is listening to your inspirational talk here, and he's saying, I want to start something for myself, I want to just follow my heart, what's the most important thing that you want to give to that person?
Right, fantastic. One thing I've learned 100%, if I can leave a wisdom for anybody. Number 1, stay true to your vision that is inside of you, the one that is really deep. Not those little voices that go, but are you going to do it? Yeah. Don't listen to those voices. Find out what it is that really makes you tick, that sparks joy. Yeah. When you have that thing that sparks, that's the thing you want. Spark that thing that sparks joy.
This sparks him. The podcast.
There we go. It's going to work. Yeah. It's going to fly because it's coming from a place of pure passion. Not to say there's not going to be pain. Your passion, keep to it. Number 2, don't get yourself into debt. Stay away from debt as much as you can. Debt is a killer.
Yep.
Now, in a place like Holland, it's much more attractive because your interest rates are so low, which is great. In South Africa, it kills you. Our interest rates are 10%.
Wow.
And they used to be 25%. So it can go a lot higher. So I would say, don't get yourself into debt. If you can avoid debt, then do it. Even if you have no money for whatever, just avoid it. Avoid it as much as you can. That would be my 2 cents.
For starters in the market.
For starters in the market, definitely.
Every time we have the same question.
De flater van.
Definitely. Well, the pattern that I have done my whole life, I would do like in South Africa, in Cape Town especially, the gigs were very seasonal. So in wintertime, nothing.
No gigs.
In summertime, you can't keep up. You have to protect your voice because you're singing so much. So we would take deposits in the winter for like the weddings or whatever. And I'd already spent that. We used that to survive
in the
through
winter.
the thing. Yeah. And then by the time it came to summer, I'm working hard, but I'm only earning tiny little bits because we've used the deposits already. Yeah. So you're always living behind the 8 ball. And for me, biggest mistake I've made in my life is using debt too much. And by debt, even a deposit that comes in, by using it already, that's been my biggest mistake. That is something I am getting out of now. And I plan, maybe we can have an interview again in like a year's time or 6 months' time, and I'll tell you how it's going.
We have enough for we can do tomorrow.
Exactly.
Spotify is unlimited.
So we'll do it again, and I'll let you know how it's going, because I plan to not be in debt ever again. You know, and from a gigging perspective, I haven't really had any massive disasters. You know, I've been lucky, but I can say, that debt story, that's been my biggest mistake.
And we have also another question. We call it
business as usual.
Have you noticed this week in the news or in your life?
Yes, actually, my daughters. They gave me such a great idea. They've given me a TikTok account. TikTok. Because apparently there's this one guy, he's got this little TikTok video. Everyone does TikTok. You've heard of TikTok?
No.
I heard about it. But then apparently older people are cool on TikTok. Oh. If they're not like AHs. Which is like they're not an ass. They're fine. If you're a good person, and it comes across, apparently TikTok will love you, and it's all like youngsters on TikTok. And what people do is
TikTok dumber.
TikTok?
No, it's an app like Facebook or something.
Yes, it's the new Instagram. It's very interactive, but it's only videos.
I'm so old already.
People put up videos, and what they do is they put music. So John Mayer's new album is on TikTok, but he's not on TikTok. But people will use his music. You can do it at licensed, and what happens is it'll take you to Spotify straight away, and it'll tell you what the song is playing on the TikTok video. And then it'll show you can click a button, and at the click of a button you can see all these videos that are using the same song. You'll be like, I really like that song. And then one will be a dog like lying there and then they're playing the music. And another one is like a lady doing yoga or something. It's random stuff. But the point is, TikTok is so powerful. So this boy's Spotify. He had a Spotify playlist and he had quite a few listens. In my view, a lot of listens, because I don't have that much on Spotify at the moment. But he had like a couple of thousand like a day or whatever that were listening, maybe even more than that, you know. So he had quite a bit of listenings and whatever. Got a song on TikTok and people really liked it, so they started using it. Within, I think it was the next day, his Spotify like went through the roof. It was like something like 250,000 listens a day, something crazy like that. The figures can even be more. He's got like a little paragraph, and not a paragraph. Not a paragraph. What you call it?
A graphic.
Graphic, like a graphic chart, you know. And it's got the lines, and it goes, it goes like straight up, and that's from TikTok.
Bizarre.
So advice, which I'm going to start doing. I'm following my own advice from my daughters. Is to get my music on TikTok.
Okay.
Well,
we're on TikTok next week.
Yes, you get a song, and I'm telling you, if you guys should start putting little videos of your podcasts on TikTok, because people will love it, because you're doing something that's real and it's uplifting and it's good. And apparently that stuff, it's not like these other things where you got to try and be cool and you know, be like dark and whatever. They're actually like, the kids of today are wanting something real and uplifting.
Authenticity.
Yes, authenticity is a hard word.
There we are.
Well, the next question we have for you is the last question we have for every listener is what is the question we didn't ask and you suspected that we did?
That you should have. Oh, sheepers. got me there.
Yeah.
Because you guys
everything
have covered,
comes from the soul.
You
but
guys have covered everything.
Now it's difficult.
Well, it is also an answer. So
because I don't believe. I mean, you've covered such a wide variety of life, from deep to slightly, fun and.
Cheap and expensive.
Yeah.
Business as well.
You've covered everything.
That's the Businessjam.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Well,
good job. Thank you for doing a great job. I can't think of a question that I expected that I haven't got.
Great.
So I guess you've done your job.
Good job.
Yay for us.
Hip hop parade.
5 star.
5 star. 100%. 5 star.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much
for this openness. And,
thank you for coming through. And
we're gonna put the link of your Spotify account on this thing.
Please.
This podcast. Everybody needs to hear.
Thank you.
Well. Yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure. I wish you well. I wish you success.
Within a year, we're back.
We're back
for the full story.
100%.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Vond je deze podcast inspirerend en wil je meer horen? Ga dan naar businessjam.nl. De Businessjam is ook als presentatie te boeken voor ondernemersverenigingen, startersdagen en scholen.
Something in those African skies, dusty roads going on for miles, smell of rain in the air. Oh, it takes me home again. I hear you calling, I hear you calling out my name. Something in those African smiles makes you feel more than alive. And if you let this place into your veins, oh, you're never gonna be the same again. You feel it calling, you feel it calling out your name. You feel it calling, you feel it calling out your name. Oh, Africa, oh, Africa. You can't let you can't let. Oh, Africa, oh, Africa. I know, it's Africa's time to LA. You should know suffering. No more poverty. No more war. Just love and love and love for Africa. Oh, Africa. Hallelujah.